Colleen Ballinger, and I just wanted to fill you in on what's going on in my life. So this is going to be a really long story time update video. So if you're not interested in story times, if you're not really interested in me, if you're not interested in stories about health and fun, scary things, then you probably won't like this. I've been going through a lot recently. My body's been going through a lot recently, and it's been scary and emotional and not very fun. And so yeah, this video is probably not going to be very fun. It's not going to be very edited and YouTube-y. Someone's texting me. Okay, I don't even know where to start. Some of you might have noticed I haven't really been posting very much recently, and that is for a few reasons, but the biggest reason is my health. Here we go. Oh my gosh, my hair. Why do I look so disgusting? Maybe because I haven't showered in 3 days. I am 6 months pregnant with a little boy, and usually when you hear about being pregnant, you hear like, oh, you get motion sickness or morning sickness, and you know, you get really big, so that's kind of uncomfortable, and that's kind of all you hear about. And for some women, that's kind of true, but for most women, pregnancy is a lot harder, and for me in particular, it's been really hard, and I've talked about it a lot publicly just because it's been completely consuming my brain. So I want to start off this video by just saying I am in no way comparing myself to anyone else. I know some women have an amazing pregnancy. I know some women have way harder than me. Some women are in the hospital the whole time. Some women are in bed rest the whole time. So I'm in no way comparing my pregnancy to other people's. I'm just talking about my personal experience and how it's been hard. Here we go. Don't worry, I will very shortly get to the part where I was on an airplane and they turned the airplane around and firefighters and EMTs escorted me off the plane because I was fainting and vomiting, but that's a little bit later. I could sit here and talk about every single symptom I've had because there's been a lot, and I maybe will eventually do a video where it's like all the things no one tells you about pregnancy, but that's not what this video is. This video is talking about the specific things I've been going through very recently in the last few weeks. So the first thing that has been hard for me and taxing on my body is my pelvic bone, basically my vagina. So some women's bodies, I guess, just can't really handle the weight and the changes that are going on down in that area. And I'm one of those women, and it happens to be affecting me a lot harder than it does to other women. The best way I can explain it is it feels like a big, strong person kicked the living out of my vagina, and it is severely bruised. So it hurts to walk, it hurts to run, obviously that's not even an option, it hurts to go upstairs, it hurts to stand up, it hurts to sit down, it hurts to roll over when I'm in bed. It kind of hurts all the time. It hurts right now. And this pain doesn't go away. It's there all the time. Okay, these are tears of frustration, not tears of pain. It's frustrating when your vagina hurts all the time. It's also embarrassing. Like people are like, oh, what's wrong? You're limping. And I'm like, oh, no worries, it's just my vagina. It's actually my pelvic bone, but that's the best way to describe it because that is the area that it's in. But it's my pelvic bone is like basically like moving around. The ligaments are all like doing this, and just it really hurts. Like trying to get dressed in the morning, putting on one leg at a time in your underwear, your pants, like I scream in pain every morning getting dressed. So like, it's been rough. Some days are better than others. Some days I'm fine and it just kind of hurts and I can walk around and it's, you know, it's painful, but it's livable. And some days I cannot move. So that's been really frustrating because there's nothing you can do about it. There's no medicine you can take for the pain. Basically nothing you can do. You just have to like be in pain. It's really hard for me to see other women who are also 6 months pregnant who are like, this is amazing, I feel great, I have so much energy, I'm not in any pain. Me, I like can barely get out of bed. So it's frustrating because all I want is to just enjoy the pregnancy. Like I just want to enjoy growing him and being his little nurturing home, but instead all I can think about is the pain that I'm in. So that's number one. It's really frustrating. Okay, so the second thing, and this is the big one, the second thing that's been happening to me for the last few weeks is fainting. This is not the type of fainting that you think of like from the movies where it's like and you just fall to the ground. Like that's not what happens to me. This is a fainting spell where I never fully black out. And the first time it happened to me, I didn't know what was going on with my body. I felt weird. I felt woozy. I felt sick. By the way, this part is going to be TMI, so if you don't like TMI, bye. But you already listened to me talking about my vagina for the last like 5 minutes, so I don't know why now you'd suddenly be TMI. But anyway. So I was feeling sick, and so I went and sat down on the toilet, pants down on my ankles. Suddenly I realized, oh, I'm fainting. I laid down because I know, because I fainted in the past, if you're starting to faint, you don't want to just crash down on the ground because you could hit your head, get a concussion. So I know you lay down on the ground and you get your feet up, get your feet elevated, so more blood rushes to your brain. I know this, so I got down on the ground, and the second I laid down, all of your organs and everything when you're pregnant get squished up real high, so they're all smushed in there, so you get really bad indigestion and heartburn and stuff like that. If you've eaten anything and you lay down vertical really quickly, that food's gonna wanna come out. And so I was pooping, and then I laid down to faint, and as I was fainting, I started vomiting everywhere, all within about 5 seconds. And then I was shaking and I couldn't hear, and it was really scary. But I thought, oh, I've heard pregnant women faint and throw up, so I guess that's normal. A few days later, that happened again, this time sans the poo. A few days later again, I had a similar episode, and then it started happening every day where I would be sitting down watching TV and suddenly I was like, oh my gosh, I feel sick, laid down on the ground, and I'd completely lose my hearing, couldn't hear anything. My eyes would go black, I couldn't see anything, but I was awake. So I don't black out to the sense of like, I'm not conscious. I'm conscious, I just can't hear or see anything. My whole body's shaking and moving, and I'm like moaning, making creepy noises. So that happened to me a few times, some worse than others. Sometimes I'm able to lay down and just kind of like try to breathe and it's okay, and then sometimes it's a lot scarier. Well, the last time it happened to me was 2 days ago. I was flying home from doing a show in Seattle. I had eaten plenty of food, I had had plenty of water, I wasn't doing anything strenuous. All I had done that day was wake up, eat breakfast, and walk onto the plane. That's literally all I had done. And I got on the plane and we were sitting there for maybe 20 minutes on the tarmac, and all of a sudden I felt myself fainting. Now, I don't remember most of this next part, but Eric tells me this is what happened. He said I started looking sick and he was trying to touch me, and I'd throw his arms off of me like I couldn't be touched, and I was moaning and like my head was going like this, like I was possessed or something. Like I was just like, whoa, like making weird sounds. We were about to take off, like the pilot said, everyone sit for takeoff, and he was like, okay, we're next to take off. When that happened, I was like, I need to lay down, I need to lay down. And obviously you're not allowed to take off your seatbelt, and you're definitely not allowed to lay down on the ground on an airplane when you're taking off. But my really stupid fainting brain thought this is okay and normal. Obviously, as a normal person, I understand that is totally not the right choice, but in that moment, my brain just wasn't working. So I took off my seatbelt and I laid down on the ground in the airplane. So then of course, the flight attendant came over and grabbed me and was like, you can't lay down, you can't lay down. Also, by the way, on the way down, I guess I went down a lot harder than I thought because I got this like gash in my arm. So they pulled me up, get me back in my chair. Couldn't hear anything, couldn't see anything. Next thing I know, I am throwing up into a bag. Still can't hear anything. And then when I started to come to and realize what was going on, there were 3 doctors around me checking my pulse, putting rags all over me. And my hearing started to come back, and I hear the flight attendant say, we're pulling back up to the gate, we have a sick passenger. And I was like, no. So then I got super embarrassed because they were pulling the plane back over because of me, and I knew I was messing up everyone's travel plans on this plane. And so then I started sobbing and I was like, no, no, no. I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. She was like, no, 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 we have to, this is protocol. I was like, no. And I was like turning around to the other people on the plane. I was like, I'm sorry. Because like, I felt so terrible. And actually the woman sitting behind me was so sweet. She was like, don't you dare apologize, sweetheart. Every grandparent in the world is so glad we're stopping to keep you and that baby safe. Don't you dare say you're sorry. And then it made me cry more because she was being so sweet. Like, it's gonna make me cry now. How sweet she was to me when I felt so terrible and I was so embarrassed. Next thing I knew, there were firefighters and EMTs on the plane, and they came up to me and they're like, what's going on? I was like, I'm pregnant, this happens all the time, it's not a big deal, I'm just pregnant. Like, I was trying to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal, because I thought it wasn't a big deal, because I thought all pregnant women just faint, and so that's just what happens. So then the head of the airline came on the plane and he was like, ma'am, you need to get off this flight, like we can't let you fly. And so that really was upsetting, but I didn't want to break the rules. They were trying to keep me safe, they're trying to keep everyone safe. So I was like, okay. So me and Eric got off the plane, and this part of the story is actually really frustrating. They took me off the plane. The guy who worked for the airline was like, I'm just here to keep you safe and your baby safe. All I want is to take care of you. I'm gonna take such good care of you. you. Don't you worry, I'm gonna get you straight home. You're gonna be comfortable all day. We'll get you meal vouchers. We'll get you in the lounge. Don't you worry, we're gonna take care of you. And I was like, oh, how sweet. Start walking me through the airport with Eric, and this man drops us off at customer service and leaves, and we never saw him again. So then customer service is like, what's going on? Why aren't you on the plane? And I was like, because I fainted and I'm fine now. And they're like, well, the next flight is not for 8 hours that we can get you on. And I was like, so I just have to sit in this airport for 8 hours? And they're like, well, you can go in the lounge, but it's $45 a person. So they just like didn't take care of us at all. Like that man like just lied just to get me off the plane kind of, and then just dropped me off at customer service and peaced out, which was really frustrating. But I know that they have to get me off the plane. It's protocol. They were trying to keep me safe. So I'm not angry at them for taking me off the plane. I'm not upset. I was upset that he said he was going to take care of us and then like just left me in customer service crying and like half passed out to try to figure it out on our own. Like that was really frustrating. And then we were just kind of alone all day sitting in uncomfortable chairs. But anyway, whatever, that's neither here nor there. At the airport, after we figured out how we were getting home, I called my doctor and I was just like, hey, I just feel like I should let you know. I know it's okay to like, people sometimes faint when they're pregnant, but like I faint every day and I'm vomiting and I lose my hearing and my vision. It's really scary and sometimes I can't get up for like an hour. Is that normal? And he was like, no. And my doctor's great, and he was just like, okay, listen, you need to see a specialist right away when you get home. You need to come see me right when you get home. That's where I've been today. And my doctor basically, you know, with the pelvic pain, he said there's nothing I can do, pretty much. My sister-in-law Jessica though gives great advice, especially with pregnancy, because she's had 100 children. So she was like, go to a chiropractor. Go to a chiropractor immediately. So I have a chiropractor appointment tomorrow. She says that's gonna help. People have told me massages help, but I ain't letting anyone massage that area. I've heard these support bands for your waist help. I have one of those. It does not help me. Basically, my doctor said the only thing that helps, taking a Tylenol, which does nothing. So the pelvic pain can't really do anything about. Baby is fine. Baby, there's nothing wrong with him. He's kicking around. He's having a blast in there. He is rolling around kicking, and actually that's the one thing that's fun about all of this is feeling him. That's the one thing that makes me feel okay. Every time I faint, right after I'm done fainting, he is like kicking and bouncing around in there. Like he's like, haha, mom made you faint. As long as he's safe, like it's totally fine. So it like makes me happy that like I'm going through hell and he's like just chilling. He's like punching around and like rolling around. Like it makes me happy to feel him. So that's been one good thing. Sorry, I'm emotional. It's been a really rough 6 months. The fainting thing. So it is common for pregnant women to feel faint, to get dizzy, maybe faint once or twice, but usually if pregnant women are fainting, it's because they're not getting enough food. Honey, I'm getting plenty of food. I have gained so much weight this pregnancy. I've gained way more than most women do by their 6-month point, like way more. I'm eating constantly. I'm constantly eating small meals throughout the day and sometimes even huge meals throughout the day. I am making sure I'm getting literally everything in my body to try to figure out what was making me faint. So it has nothing to do with eating. I went to a specialist today for my heart because my doctor thought maybe there was something wrong with my heart. I got hooked up to all these machines and all these monitors and they did all these tests on me and they basically were like, your heart's good, your blood's good, everything's okay. Basically, the one thing that's like kind of an issue is that my blood pressure is extremely low. Normally, whatever your blood pressure is, you have some wiggle room. Your blood pressure can go up and it can go down throughout the day and you're fine. But mine is so low that if it goes down even a little bit, I'm gonna faint because it's going just below the threshold of what my body can handle. My blood pressure being low is totally fine, normal, it's not dangerous, it's a safe number, it's just lower than average. Basically, if I turn over too quickly, if I stand up too quickly, if I just haven't had enough water that day, it could be any little thing that just makes your blood pressure just go dip a little bit. A normal person, it dips a little bit and you're fine and then it just goes back up later. But for me, it dips a little bit and I'm gonna go down. That's what they think it is. Basically, they just said drink lots and lots and lots of water, rest, don't move too quickly, and eat a lot more salt because salt helps your body retain water. And that's where I'm at now. I'm going to try to drink way more water and eat way more salt because I was already eating a lot of salt and I was already drinking a lot of water about 1 hour. So I'm gonna try to do more of that, more resting, hope it doesn't keep happening, and I'm okay. I'm healthy, the baby's healthy. My body's just not handling pregnancy well, and I don't know why. I don't know why my body is different than other pregnant women where it's just not handling it well. Like I'm in constant pain. There's always something. Like if I have an hour of a day where I'm like, don't feel pain, or I have energy, I'm like, okay, enjoy this. This is a moment where everything is okay. The rest of the time there's a migraine, I can't breathe, I have shortness of breath, I have constipation, I have hemorrhoids, I am fainting, I am barfing, I'm in extreme pain, I have muscle cramps in my legs, I can't walk, I can't go upstairs. I mean, the list, I could literally keep going on and on and on and on about all the things that happen to me every single day. All that being said, that's the reason I haven't been posting as much, and it's hard, you know. I mentioned this on Joey's channel. There's a video where I talk about it for a long time, but I get a lot of hate for talking about my pregnancy and complaining about my pregnancy. I don't see it as complaining about my pregnancy when I'm just talking about the pain that I'm in. I'm grateful to be pregnant, and I'm so grateful for my baby. I'm just miserable. And I'm just tired of being miserable. And I would do it all again in a heartbeat for him. Like, I haven't even met him yet, and I'm already like, oh my God, I'll do anything for you. Like, if it means I have to be in this much pain, like, okay, cool. Like, I'll do it. Like, you're the coolest little dude in the world. Like, I'll do whatever you need. It's just frustrating when I know, like, I see other pregnant women who aren't going through this much pain, who can walk and run about freely, who aren't fainting all the time, who don't have people looking at them like they're a fragile glass creature that could shatter at any second. Like, the way that Corey and Eric are looking after me is so sweet, but at the same time, it's like if I walk anywhere, they're like, oh my God. Like, and I'm a control freak, and I'm very independent, so it's hard for me to like have to have people kind of take care of me. Oh my God, this is turning into a therapy session. It's like, it's just one of those things. It's like, when I first got pregnant, everyone was like, yes, the first 3 months are really hard, and then they get really great for 3 months, and then it gets really hard again for the last 3 months. That's what everybody says about pregnancy. I feel like my entire pregnancy I've been waiting for the part where it's not as hard, but it just keeps getting harder. Like, I never had a part of my second trimester where I was like, oh, this is great. I mean, except for like getting to see him and feel him, like that's amazing. But like, I never have a day where I'm like, I have so much energy and I feel so happy and wonderful and I'm not in any pain. Like, I've been in pain every day. I'm not here to complain and be like, oh, this is so hard, I hate my life. Like, I don't hate my life. I'm so grateful to be pregnant. I'm so grateful to have him, and I don't put any blame on him. Like, there have been people who've been like, you're gonna make him pay for this when he comes out. Like, every time I faint, I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, my body's going through this to keep him safe. Like, that's a good thing. He doesn't know what's going on. Like, he's just a little sweet little baby, like floating around in there trying to stay safe in my body that's a hot mess. Like, it's my body that's a mess. It's not his fault. It's my body. Oh, you shouldn't complain about it, because what about when your son like sees this when he comes out? Like, if my son were to watch this someday, like, I want him to see like the struggles that women go through to have a baby, and I think that's important for everyone to learn about. I'll just remind him then the same thing I'm saying now, which is it's not his fault at all. Like, it has nothing to do with him. Like, he's perfect. It's my body that's failing. And so that's something else I'm struggling with, is like, what's wrong with me that my body can't handle it? And then I beat myself up and think that I'm not good enough and like I'm not fit. I don't know, like my body's not fit to protect him, and you know, then I feel guilt. So, oh my God, this is literally such a ridiculous video. Just crying and like, oh, so boring. No one's even interested in this. I'm like, oh. So that's what I'm going through. It's been stressful because normally I think I would just be like, okay, well then I'm just gonna lay in bed, but I can't do that. I have a show in DC this weekend, 2 shows in DC actually, and I can't just cancel them because, first of all, I don't want to, and I would never cancel a show, but also because we're filming those shows for my Netflix special, so it's a really big deal. It's not just a simple like reschedule it. Like, it would be very, very bad if the shows got canceled. It would be very bad. But then that's the last time I'm traveling, and then I have one more show in LA, but my family will be there. I can take it easy. There's no pressure. Like, it'll just be a chill, fun show, and yeah, I'm trying to focus on staying well until I film my Netflix special. And then once I'm done filming my Netflix special, I can, you know, fully rest and make videos casually when I'm able to, when I have the energy, when I'm not in pain. But that's the tea, y'all. So I think that pretty much sums it all up. Thank you, by the way, to any moms out there who have told me they had similar pregnancies. It makes me feel not alone, because sometimes I feel alone when I see other pregnant women talking about like how glorious it is, or they just have the regular symptoms of like swollen feet, backaches, you know, normal things, and mine is like so bananas. So it's really nice to hear from other moms who have gone through similar things, and hopefully the next video I upload will be a fun, silly, goofy, entertaining video, and not me like moaning and crying about my body falling apart. But I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me and being there for me, the ones who are kind. There's a lot of people out there who like to leave really mean comments, so what's up, y'all? Thanks for the view. But to all the people who've been sweet and supportive and understanding, like, thank you so much. It means so much to me. I'm all good. My doctors are constantly checking up on me. I talk to them all the time. We've got it under control now, and I haven't fainted in 2 days. I haven't thrown up in 2 days. We're on the mend. Things are looking good. I hear Eric running up the stairs, so I'm gonna go hang out with him and get some cuddles. Ew, I just said cuddles. Who says cuddles? Me, I guess. Mom wanna get them.